Ladies, gents, boys and girls, Papa Smoke back again for another video. Okay, so last week I announced the end of the Loire videos. Basically, I'd covered most of the popular Loire, most of the ones that I serve. Not every Vodouissant serves every Loire. There are a lot of them. So I mentioned that we're going to start doing demon videos going forward, because another set of spirits and another pantheon we serve are the demons. So the goetic demons and other demons that aren't necessarily goetic, such as watches and things like that, for example. Okay, so this is a little different, this series. This series is actually scripted by house member Lucifer, so I do apologise if you see me reading, but she's prepared me profiles and things like that. Lucifer herself doesn't deal with the public. It's based on a book we're writing on. And it's something called Demonic Hoodoo. So when that's out, brilliant, you know, everybody go for it. It's going to be, you'll see from these little mini sections that we're doing, it's going to be a complete different concept than other demonology books that you've seen out there. This is going to be more of a grimoire, more than a set of big I am stories. In fact, there are no big I am stories in here, so there's no authors praising themselves, claiming to have done impossible things just out of stupid adult idiocy. This is just pure fact. So, as a result, we are offering consultations from now going forward on this. Lucifer written consultations, myself verbal by phone. Yeah, and that's based on the workings that can be done through each demon. So each time we go through a demon each week, yeah, at the end of the section, I'll tell you what gnosis we've got in terms of what workings we can offer through Demonic Hoodoo, yeah? If you want to then contact us and either purchase one of those workings, that's fine, you can do that. Or if you want to try the working yourself because you've got a relationship with the spirit and you want a consultation for us to talk you through how to do that working, we can do that at £30 an hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, Prince Bael. So, noted in 17th century Goetic texts as one of the 7 princes of the underworld. His name came from the Canaanite god Baal, who is spoke of in the Bible as the main god of the Phoenicians. Do apologise if I've misread that from the scripting, I'm dyslexic after all. Now, he's supposed to appear of like that of a man, cat, or toad, or all 3 in combination. He usually manifests with all 3 heads riding sort of atop of like spider-like legs, and that's where you see this black and white image of like where he's got a toad's head here, a cat's head here, and another head here, and he's on top of this kind of like crustacean-y type kind of legs. Now, I don't know if many people out there know, but the tarot card he's associated with is the 5 of Cups. And the planet that he's aligned with and associated with is Venus. He resonates the most with the metal copper, and as such, any amulets that are made for him, or any sigils or any spiritual jewellery like that, should be done in copper, and if it's done in another material, it's not necessarily correct and doesn't necessarily resonate with him. And for the workings in the Demonic Hoodoo book going forward, everything needs to be on point, resonating, working and perfect. Before you purchase anything like that, consult us first, because there are a lot of people out there just trying to scam money off you. Out there doing things like pewter-plated silver and all sorts of idiocy, when sometimes the spiritual energies of the demon don't correspond with the spiritual energies of the metal in the amulet, and this causes a spiritual clash, which causes a mess in your microcosm. Yeah, so it's very important that you consult us first before you purchase any spiritual jewelry from anywhere. Back to Prince Bael anyway. His element that he's associated with is the element earth. The colour he likes the most is orange. As a result, the candles we offer him are orange. The plant that resonates with him the most is the fern. They're quite common in England as well. The incense he likes is frankincense, which is brilliant because that's a good cleansing incense. It's an incense I use to cleanse pre-ritual. And his zodiac association is Aries, but it's very specific to 0.4 degrees of Aries. Now, Lucifer's quite specific in her explanations of things. She gets quite technical sometimes, does our Lucy. Now, when you do workings with him, there are certain sort of like visualizations and sensory triggers that you might experience, you know, flashing through your mind, or you might get certain smells or certain sounds, yeah? These are things such as, in the case of Prince Bael, the remains of burnt branches, or like sort of a chunk of white marble. If these images flash through your mind, yeah, this isn't sort of weird randomness, you're not going crazy. These are images associated with the spirit that you're trying to reach if you're trying to work with Prince Bael, yeah? If you start to hear the sounds of like laboured, difficult, wheezy breathing, like kind of thing, yeah? Right, that again ain't no negative haunting or anything you've drawn through. Is potentially, if you're trying to work with Bael, you've potentially reached him and he's there, and your clairaudience has picked him up, yeah. And if you can sort of like smell, like sort of like freshly dug dirt, you know the smell when you're turning over your garden, that sort of like fresh soil smell, that can indicate his presence as well. And again, if you start to have images in your head of a white sky that suddenly changes orange as the sun rises, as opposed to going orange as it sets, it suddenly changes orange as the sun rises, then again, that can be a mental visual key that he's about and he's in your presence, yeah? So, in the Goetia, his rank is supposed to be the head of infernal powers. Now, it's interesting to note that he's the first demon in Wyrus's Pseudonomica Demonium. Oh, she loves to give me difficult words to pronounce. Thanks, Lucy. Now, Wyrus states that Bael is the first king of the underworld. But on the other hand, Colin de Plancy once said that Bael's rank is that of a duke, who is at the head of 66 legions of demons and spirits. So let's look at why we may need to work with him. And these are the things we can offer consultations on. So Lucifer can do direct workings with him to achieve these for you for a paid root work, or we can sit down and do a consultation with you and tell you how to do this for yourself. You see, unlike Vodou, this isn't necessarily an initiatory practice, so you can reach out to these demons and try this yourself without risking too much danger, as long as you're instructed correctly and you act respectfully. Okay, so he's a very handy spirit if you're trying to do something you don't want others to see. There's workings that you can do with him to conceal your actions or a specific action from a specific individual. Bael himself can also be petitioned to help conceal your actions from a specific group of people. He can also help you go to places that you're not welcome, and you sort of like pass through unnoticed. If you do this ritual, though, don't go around getting in everyone's face and shaking everyone's hand. You still got to act with a degree of stealth and smarts. But say, for example, you were thrown out of somewhere and you've left some belongings there. You know, you might be able to use it to sneak back in and get them, or something like that. But then don't just get them and then start getting in everyone's face. You know what I mean? It's because it's not going to work like that. You're going to get noticed if you get yourself noticed, yeah? Another thing he's great for is breaking people's unhealthy obsessions with you and with your work and your projects and your life, yeah? Right? There's certain people out there in the occult that are quite frankly dangerous stalkers. I'm not going to name them. We all know who they are. But I'm not going to name them because I'm not going to give them any sort of, you know, wind. But if the left-hand path magicians they were stalking were that knowledgeable and that powerful, they would have been able to work with Prince Bael to get rid of the problem by now, rather than just allowing it to persist, chatting their fakery. Anyway, the final thing that we've been able to get gnosis from Prince Bael for, in terms of a demonic hoodoo working, is to be able to cause anxiety within your enemies. Lucifer has done this to a few enemies, and you will see them on camera looking edgy and looking a bit poorly and looking a bit twitchy and slurring their words and scratchy and stuff like that, yeah? Right? You know who I'm talking about, who's released recent videos and who looks a mess, yeah? Right? Part of that is courtesy of Lucifer, and it's just a simple anxiety work ramped up to 20. Okay, so if you want consultations on how to do these yourself, hit me up, £30 an hour, yeah? I'll try to get the explanation within 1 hour for you, yeah? Right? If you want the works actually done themselves, they're about £200 each, depending on, if you buy more than one at once, we'll do you a discount. Anyways, that's been Prince Bael. Anything else you like need to know or anything like that, or you'd like to add, then hit us up in the comments, yeah? And another thing, now a lot of people do believe in this, but some people don't believe in this. The ones that don't really believe in it don't really understand the principle of it, and that's the N. So the N chanting. So when you chant an N, you are inviting a specific energy or a specific spiritual alignment within yourself. Yeah, you do it 108 times because it realigns all 108 energy pathways within your spiritual bodies to match whatever intention you're trying to achieve. Yeah, people that don't understand this say that the ends don't work, but they do. Especially if you're attuned to things such as sonic Reiki, for example. And Bael's enchant is Sekori Onka Bael. Now, there's a great YouTube channel out there where you can actually chant this along with them 108 times. We have no direct professional or personal association with them, but they are great for newbies. They're called Satan and Sons. You can find every N from every demon on there. And there is a video where each one is done 108 times. They've done this on purpose so that you can chant along so you don't have to keep count. Okay? Much love and respect. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which don't leave you with the right lot. See you next week, people. Bye-bye.